Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Omaha. Before we begin today's meeting, I'd invite everyone who would join us to recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'd like to call to order the October 3rd, 2025 meeting of the Board of Regents. Roll call, please.
Regent Lysy.
Here.
Regent Calamari.
Here.
Regent Wilkins.
Here.
Regent Schroeder.
Yes.
Regent Clare.
Here.
Regent Kenny.
Yes.
Regent O'Connor.
Here.
Regent Schaefer.
Yes.
Regent Shear.
Here.
Regent Stark.
Here.
Regent Whites.
Here.
Regent Wilmot.
Present.
A quorum is present.
Thank you. Is there a motion to go into closed session?
I move that the Board of Regents go into closed session as authorized by Section 84-1410 of the revised statutes of the state of Nebraska for the protection of the public interest and to prevent needless injury to the reputation of persons who have not requested a public hearing for the purpose of holding a discussion limited to the following subject: personnel matters involving members of the university staff.
Second.
Regent Calamari.
Yes.
Regent Wilkins.
Yes.
Regent Schroeder.
Yes.
Regent Lysy.
Yes.
Regent Kenny.
Yes.
Regent O'Connor.
Yes.
Regent Schaefer.
Yes.
Regent Shear.
Yes.
Regent Stark.
Yes.
Regent Whites.
Yes.
Regent Wilmot.
Yes.
Regent Clare.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Follow Dr. Gold to the room back here, I believe. It is now 10:10. We're back in open session. Thank you for your patience. In your materials, you have copies of the minutes for the board meeting from August 14th, 2025. I'd entertain a motion to approve those.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Regent Wilkins.
Yes.
Regent Schroeder.
Yes.
Regent Lysy.
Yes.
Regent Calamari.
Yes.
Regent O'Connor.
Yes.
Regent Schaefer.
Yes.
Regent Shear.
Yes.
Regent Stark.
Yes.
Regent Whites.
Yes.
Regent Wilmot.
Yes.
Regent Clare.
Yes.
Regent Kenny. Motion passes.
In compliance with the Nebraska Open Meetings Act, the board has posted a copy of the act in the back of the room. To begin our meeting, I'd invite Dr. Deli Davis, Interim Chancellor of University of Nebraska Med Center, to provide us with a medical center update. Deli?
Kenny, and thank you. Can you hear me? Okay. And thank you, members of the Board of Regents, for spending the last 2 days with us. It's been an honor having you here and having you learn about all the things that we do on our campus. One of the things we're very proud of at UNMC is our relationship with the military and our veterans. And so we thought that this morning we'll just share some examples of some of those things that we're doing as we as UNMC work with our partners in protecting Nebraska and safeguarding the nation. So UNMC partners with the Department of Defense to train military physicians, physician assistants, and healthcare leaders through programs that span Nebraska communities and national service. For example, we have a family medicine residency that's a joint collaboration between UNMC and Offutt Air Force Base that creates the nation's second largest training for family medicine doctors in the country. Provides a breadth of experience in a wide variety of settings, including urban, suburban, and rural sites. It's a 3-year program, and every year, 8 residents are trained within this program to help support the military. Another example is the Inter-Service Physician Assistant Program. It's an IPAP program, which is actually a Bachelor of Science degree, and then a Master's of Physician Assistant Studies degree upon completing their PA, which is a University of Nebraska degree. And it is the longest-running federal training program that UNMC has with the military, and it renews every 5 years. And so we have over 3,000 physician assistants who have actually been trained as part of this program over 30 years with the military. Another example is the Education with Industry program, where UNMC takes in active duty officers within the healthcare administration field. They come to us for 10 months, and they gain exposure to civilian practices in delivering the highest quality, accessible, and cost-effective healthcare services at all levels of the organization. And it gives them an opportunity to acquire and refine important managerial competencies, including measuring, assessing clinical business activities with an emphasis on improving clinical line performance. In addition, we have a lot of other programs. For example, the Family Medicine program has trained 116 residents over the last 5 years. Here are some examples of our alumni that have made an impact nationally. Lieutenant General James Rudebush was actually just here celebrating the 50th year alumni reunion with his classmates at UNMC. And he serves as the former U.S. Air Force Surgeon General and is a UNMC College of Medicine graduate from 1975. Brigadier General Bill L. Souls is a UNMC College of Allied Health Professions graduate from 1999 in the Masters of Physician Assistant Studies program, and he became the first active duty physician assistant to become a general in the U.S. Army. And he served as a combat medic early in his Army career before becoming a physician assistant to grow as a soldier and as a person. So here we actually have an interesting story. General Miller and General, sorry, hold on a second, I got the wrong caption here. Here we have Captain Jacob Andrus, who is a resident in a family medicine program on the left. And that's his dad on the right, Brigadier General John Andrus, who's a Joint Staff Surgeon of the U.S. Air Force. Interestingly enough, we've done a lot of work with Brigadier General John Andrus, and his son learned about our program and decided to become a resident. So another different type of partnership there. In this slide here, we have General Miller and General Hogg, who are both former Air Force Surgeon Generals. And they just, again, exemplify the partnership that we have between the military and UNMC, where we serve as a clinical readiness hub for the U.S. Air Force, where we embed trauma surgeons, we train military providers, and help them in sustaining their medical skills in Nebraska and abroad. The Mission Zero Act is an example of that kind of partnership where we aim to enhance the nation's response to public health and medical emergencies by integrating military and civilian trauma systems. The program was authorized by the Pandemic and All Hazards Preparedness and Advancing Innovation Act of 2019, and it provides grants to eligible high acuity trauma centers to enable military trauma teams to provide trauma care and related acute care. The program's goal is to achieve zero preventable deaths after injury, both at home and abroad, by fostering collaboration between military and civilian healthcare systems and teams. The 86th Aero Medical Evacuation Squadron in Germany has also been a beneficiary, or we've been beneficiaries of partnering with them, where we've helped provide training to them in health security. You're going to hear about Seastars Omaha in a minute, but we, of course, have a very strong partnership with the Offutt Air Force Base, where a lot of the practitioners there, as I mentioned, trained with us, and we have a lot of our physicians who helped provide support. And also, since inception, we've had 214 individuals who have been trained through Seastars in the principles of biocontainment care, which is basically how do we make sure that when we have patients who have highly deadly infectious diseases, they can be cared for safely within our community and also when they're getting transported. So we also do research with the national defense. We have over 36 research projects with the Department of Defense that include developing protective drugs for soldiers facing biological, chemical, or radiological threats, as well as advancing cancer therapies and treatments for combat injuries. And we do that in partnership with the National Strategic Research Institute, which is a not-for-profit institute sponsored by the U.S. Strategic Command and its affiliates with the University of Nebraska system. And we are one of only 15 university-affiliated research centers in the country, and the only one that focuses on health and defense. We also partner with the Nebraska Drug Discovery and Development Pipeline, which is a program started by Dr. Ken Bales and partners across the system to develop pharmaceutical drugs to protect soldiers before and after exposure to biologic, chemical, and radiologic weapons. The Henry M. Jackson Foundation Cooperative Agreement allows us to partner with Uniformed Services University to focus on military patient surge planning. And finally, we have the congressionally directed medical research programs, where we have 31 different projects that are funded by the federal government on areas of focus such as cancer, drug development, and treatment of combat-related injuries. So we have a very strong relationship with the Nebraska, Iowa VA, with a lot of lasting collaborations. And right now, 62 of our faculty members provide clinical care at the VA. We have 21 residency programs that do rotations at the VA. And we have 112 active research projects involving 32 of our faculty who serve as principal investigators at the VA. So one of the things that we're also very proud of is our partnerships with the veterans. Our College of Dentistry Dean, Dean Gerald Kogel, when he came to us, came with a strong desire to help improve the dental care of veterans, because he noticed that a lot of veterans actually do not have access to dental care. And so he was able to raise some philanthropic dollars, and the College of Dentistry is now providing valuable dental care to vets in Lincoln, with more than 300 vets treated to date. And so before I introduce our next speaker, which actually was supposed to be Colonel Elizabeth Schnabel talking about sea stars, but because of the shutdown, she's not allowed to present. So we're going to have Dr. John Lowe, who is actually the director of our Global Center for Health Security and Assistant Vice Chancellor for Health Security, Training and Education, and the Ann Harbert Chair and Professor in the Department of Environmental, Agricultural, and Occupational Health and College of Public Health, who works really, really closely with Colonel Schnabel. He's going to do the presentation. Before he comes up, I'm just going to show you a video of the work being done with our College of Dentistry and our vets.
Today we're doing a vet program in Omaha. There's 115,000 vets in the state of Nebraska who cannot get dental care because they are not eligible. And I don't think most people know that.
10% of veterans are eligible for dental care through the VA, whereas medical, a majority of them can be eligible in some way, shape, or form. So it's an unmet need that's also an unrealized need.
I really haven't had a place to go to before. Like I say, I've been to the Missions of Mercy out west of town the last 2 years, but other than that, I really don't have a dentist.
It is a bit of a disgrace that our vets don't get dental care, and when you sit through one of these clinics, you see the need that they have.
Veteran patients have no teeth, and we're giving them a denture, something they've been needed for years and unable to get.
This patient just told me he grew his beard out because he didn't want the look of not having any teeth. It'll be a cosmetic thing, but also it'll be a practical thing to give him some teeth.
They're getting full treatment. This isn't a one and done where we extract and we send them home. We treatment plan, we do the treatment.
I can relate to these veterans in a lot of ways. I chose to get out and pursue a career in dentistry, and so it really means a lot to me that I'm able to give back to my fellow veterans.
It's something that really makes me happy as a veteran. One, that we're offering this, but also being able to offer this. When I was active duty in the Navy, I was a dentist, and I worked with a lot of wounded warriors.
When the students graduated this past year, the number one thing they said that they appreciated in dental school was the vet program. Because not only did they get to do dental care, they got to know a vet. They got to know their life story. They got to know where they've been, where they've come from. And I think they appreciate the needs that we have in this country that are unmet.
And so it's a really profound day, lots of smiles.
With support, we can make it run. It helps everybody. It helps the students, it helps the school, but most importantly, it helps the veterans.
Thanks, Interim Chancellor Davies, and good morning, President Gold and Regents. It's a pleasure to be here this morning. Always a willing participant and collaborator step in and support our active duty partners, so a pleasure to be here this morning and talk through the partnership and some of the history and what we've done. So I will deliver a few messages that Colonel Schnaubelt asked me to deliver. First and foremost, just on the lead in, she was really excited to come back to you 2 years after her last presentation to you and express what an honor it's been for her to lead the active duty Air Force cadre here at Nebraska to develop a biocontainment and infectious disease care capability for our military and the transport capability. So I just wanted to highlight a few things for you on that today. First and foremost, Sea Stars Omaha is what we affectionately refer to it as. This was established in 2018 and with the goal of embedding active duty clinicians, nurses, medics, public health technicians here at UNMC to work alongside their counterparts in the civilian healthcare system to keep their skills sharp and to give them access to internationally recognized experts in biocontainment care and transport. They really push forward the development and maintenance of this capability in our military for naturally occurring infectious diseases and also engineered, intentionally designed pathogens to cause disruption and harm. What I wanted to focus on and what Elizabeth wanted to update you on was a few emerging developments. And so one of these that's really important and really integrates the Sea Stars Omaha team even further into Nebraska, well beyond the University of Nebraska, is the partnerships with the Nebraska National Guard. So this is really focused on developing training, education, exercise, and response capabilities between the Nebraska National Guard, the National Guard Bureau, and the U.S. Air Force. Well, last summer, we had the opportunity, Sea Stars had the opportunity to host the National Guard Bureau, the Adjutant General for the Nebraska National Guard, Major General Strong, to work through opportunities and identify opportunities for partnership for integrated training and response activities. In less than a year from that hosting, they had established an MOU between the Nebraska National Guard, the Central Bureau, Sea Stars, and Omaha to actually make this a thing. And I'm happy to report to you today that we've already started to embed Nebraska National Guard members in the Sea Stars Omaha team. So those clinical providers, those responders are now working here on campus on a regular basis next to the Air Force experts, next to the Nebraska Biocontainment Unit and the National Quarantine Unit experts as well. Really focused on developing and delivering biocontainment patient care training and transport training programs for the Joint Force. So a few additional highlights. The Guard members, Sea Stars Omaha and UNMC are developing infectious disease air transport capabilities. These are really meant to aeromedically evacuate patients with the most lethal, the most complex, and the most hazardous diseases for those who provide care to them. This is a really important capability to develop in advance and not pull together. And the Air Force really identified Nebraska as the prime partner to partner with to develop this capability, and we're proud to be that partner. Happy to also report that that team has drastically expanded, so we are up to the 16 team members, and again, these are physicians, nurses, paramedics, public health technicians, and when they come here and embed in the Sea Stars Omaha team, this means that they are actively providing care in the Nebraska Medicine Hospital. They're actively engaging with our academic programs. And when we activate the biocontainment unit, the quarantine unit, or partner with federal agencies in response, we do that shoulder to shoulder with them. Having these capabilities on campus for DoD, the air transport capabilities, enables not only our academicians, and the active duty Air Force folks to partner, but it helps us to innovate and develop robust capabilities for when these things are used. This also opens up opportunities for our students to partner in research, and I'll highlight a few of those in a minute. Along these lines of the focus on infectious disease air transport, we have been partnering with CSTARS to actively pursue the development of the infectious disease air transport training facility. Colonel Schnellboat asked me to express her gratitude to the board for approving the initial design development of that facility, which has come along quite well. So this would be over a 30,000 square foot building, 2 blocks south of where we are today. And this would provide us the capability to really expand and bolster the training of military capabilities to do patient care and patient transport, but also open up to us the ability to train other government entities, other response entities to do those types of actions, but do it in a way where we know and those partners know all of these partners are getting the same training and come to this problem with a similar skill set, which is really powerful. So that particular facility would be a purpose-built training facility, again, focused predominantly on air transport and medical management on airframes of highly hazardous patients. We envision all of the training assets, some of which I think you have seen, maybe even seen this week, would be moved to that facility, and we would initiate training through that space. We also envision the opportunity to put other federal agencies' transport devices there to provide their training. So I wanted to close out with some of the linkages that this having CSTARS on campus and working shoulder to shoulder has enabled, just collaboration with our faculty and our students. So 2 years ago, Dr. Angela Hewlett, the medical director for the Nebraska Biocontainment Unit, established, we refer to it as an EMIT, but an enhanced medical education track for our med students in biopreparedness and biocontainment. As this was established, CSTAR says, this is fantastic, we're all in, and they've partnered in that program. And so what that does is opens up to our med students the opportunity to work with all of these programs that CSTARS is driving forward, training active duty, conducting research on these aeromedical transport devices, and learning about providing care to these types of patients. We're also opens up the opportunity for research. So we currently have a DoD-funded research program. It's shown up here on the right, where we have students engaging with Dr. Santarpia, validating and assessing the containment systems that are used throughout the world so that we understand when do they work well, when do they not work well, and how do we overcome those limitations. Great opportunity for our students and to innovate. So I think last, I just want to end with a quote from Dr. Schnellboat and then maybe provide a response. She asked that I end by expressing that she and the CSTARS team could not be more grateful for the exceptional partnership and tremendous support of their mission from you as regents and from the university through our partnership. I'm going to take the podium since I got tapped to step in for her to share back an offering of how incredibly proud we are to be their partner and to share this mission with her. Aside from all these programmatic highlights, I think it's important to talk about how the boots hit the ground, which is our partnership with CSTARS has been meaningful. In the early days of COVID, their team was fully embedded with us as we repatriated American citizens from Wuhan, China, from really uncertain and scary situation. They were at Eppley Air Force Base, shoulder to shoulder with us as we brought back American passengers from the Diamond Princess cruise ship. And a few weeks into the pandemic, when we had, I think, 5 floors of the hospital activated as COVID wards, and Colonel Schnellboat, who would not have told you in her briefing, was the lead for infection prevention on every one of those floors, was tapped by the military to serve that function for the whole of the military. And at that point, the military and us had full confidence that they had the most experienced and the best expert leading that for them. And I think that really embodies the value and impact of the partnership. So thank you so much for the opportunity to present on behalf of Colonel Schnellboat.
Thank you. Now we'll move on to the kudos. At each board meeting, we take time to recognize those persons who often don't get recognized for what they deserve. The Board of Regents believes that it's vitally important that we acknowledge your commitment, as well as your contributions to the university. To have been nominated by either a supervisor or fellow worker is an honor in itself. As kudos recipients are announced, please come to the podium, join the regent making the presentation. Following the presentation, we will take a picture that will appear on our website. The president, chancellor, and recipient's family and supporters will be in the photo. Our first kudos recipient is Ted Eichholz from the University of Nebraska at Kearney. This award will be presented by Regent Schroeder. Sam?
It's a great honor to present this award to Assistant Chief Eichholz. What's not included in my official remarks is that he's been a great partner with our student government on campus, whether it's campus safety, parking, or just before we reconvened, we were talking about getting Narcan in all of our campus first aid kits. So he's been a great partner, and I appreciate that. So, on behalf of the Board of Regents, I'm honored to present the Kudos Award to Ted Eichholz, Assistant Chief of Police for the University of Nebraska at Kearney. Ted's unwavering commitment to safety, leadership, and integrity sets a powerful standard in our industry and makes him an outstanding candidate for this distinguished honor. Throughout his career, Ted has shown a steadfast dedication to building a culture of safety and accountability. Whether guiding teams through complex organizational challenges or implementing proactive safety initiatives, he consistently prioritizes the well-being of his colleagues and community. What makes Ted truly exceptional is his deeply human approach while remaining systemic and thorough. He listens, educates, and empowers those around him. His ability to transform high standards into everyday practice has led to measurable improvements in safety performance and team morale. His forward-thinking mindset and exceptional communication skills have bridged the gap between policy and practice. Safety protocols are clearly understood, respected, and consistently followed at every level. Beyond his technical expertise, Ted leads by example. He's recognized for his humility, reliability, and commitment to mentoring others. Colleagues routinely seek his guidance for his knowledge and for the trust and respect he earns through his actions. His supervisor notes, in every sense, Ted exemplifies the values of the Kudos Award was designed to honor. Joining Ted today are his wife, Dana Eichholz, his supervisor, UNK Chief of Police Ricky Fass, and John Falconer, Senior Advisor to the Chancellor. Please join me in thanking Ted for his dedication to UNK.
Congratulations, Ted. Regent Wilkins will present the Kudos Award to Shelley Kutzer from the University of Nebraska at Lincoln. Libby?
The Board of Regents is pleased to present a Kudos Award to Shelley Kutzer, Director of Research Finance. During an extraordinary challenge, Shelley stepped in to lead the sponsored program's post-award team. There was significant staff turnover, low morale, and a backlog of work. Under her leadership, an impossible situation quickly became a story of resilience and renewal. Shelley assessed the circumstances, set clear priorities, and introduced systems that resolved the backlog of invoices and sub-award payments. Leading from the front, spending countless evenings and weekends diving in, her leadership was about more than the processes. It was about the people. Tirelessly, she restored trust and morale, creating an environment where staff felt supported, valued, and motivated in the face of an intense workload. She transformed a distressed unit into one that again met deadlines, responded effectively to a major NSF audit, and rebuilt credibility across campus. Her leadership was defined by transparency, decisiveness, and empathy. She bridged gaps between teams, strengthened accountability, and ensured that researchers and sponsors could once again rely on timely and accurate post-award administration. The improvements she achieved were not temporary fixes, but set a foundation for sustained operational excellence. Shelley's willingness to assume this responsibility outside her formal role and her remarkable success in doing so exemplify the highest qualities of service and dedication to the university. Her actions have had an immediate and lasting impact on the university's research enterprise, positioning the sponsored programs office for future success. For these reasons, I strongly and enthusiastically recommend Shelley Kutzer for this honor, a leader whose commitment and vision have left an enduring mark on the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. Joining Shelley today are her mother, Loretta Hardees, Interim Vice Chancellor Jen Nelson, and Associate Vice Chancellor Becky Savala. The Z just wasn't coming out. Both in research and innovation. Please join me in thanking Shelley for her dedication to UNL.
Duly noted, we will say bad things from here on out.
There you go.
That's the hazard.
See, imagine, shocker, the 6'5" guy's got to be in the back.
Tall one.
Congratulations, Shelley. Regent Calamari will present the Kudos Award to Tina Renner from the University of Nebraska Medical Center. Regent.
On behalf of the Board of Regents, I am pleased to present a Kudos Award to UNMC's Tina Renner, Business Operations Coordinator in the Police and Public Safety Department. Tina joined UNMC in 2001, then joining the Police and Public Safety Department in 2002, where colleagues say she proactively seeks ways to improve protocols. Her forward-thinking mindset has led to the implementation of effective strategies that drive meaningful change in how we protect and serve our community, one nominator said. Another applauded how she takes on responsibilities with a smile and collaborates closely with partners to help standardize processes. This is helping to provide public safety services across the entire campus successfully. Described as a servant leader, one colleague said, "Tina cares deeply for her team, ensuring that they have what they need to be successful. She is committed to getting the job done, and her ability to keep projects moving is truly next level." Today, Tina is joined by Katrina Washington, Business Operations Specialist, Caitlin Russell, Office Associate, Police Sergeant Stephen Ventischer, and Police Captain Trevor O'Brien, all from UNO's Public Safety Department. Join me in thanking Tina for her commitment, collaboration, and compassion. As support staff to UNMC's Police and Public Safety team, her work makes things easier for them, and in that way positively impacts the safety of the entire campus.
Congratulations, Tina. Regent Lacey will present the Kudos Award to Randy Matley from the University of Nebraska at Omaha. And on a personal note, some 20-some odd years ago, Randy designed our original logo for Cap Ethanol.
The Board of Regents is pleased to present a Kudos Award to Randy Matley, Communications Specialist for the College of Communication, Fine Arts, and Media, or CFAM, at the University of Nebraska at Omaha. Abby Sirik, Assistant Dean of CFAM, says that Randy's leadership in communications, marketing, and analytics has supported the college and it has elevated it. From strategic planning to hands-on education, he infused the CFAM 20th anniversary year with vision, cohesion, and maverick spirit. This year would not have been possible without him. She continues, Randy led the development of a unified college-wide communication strategy encompassing 93 individual events. He played a leading role in conceptualizing and executing the year's 2 flagship events, the CFAM 20th anniversary opening and closing ceremonies, each drawing nearly 400 attendees. Randy handled his work with no additional staff and never compromised on quality. Randy's commitment to UNO and CFAM is also evident in the way he supports others. As a strategic thinker and tireless implementer, he centers his work on long-term student and alumni success. Randy is an innovator who combines visual artistry with analytical insight. Abby adds, his contributions reflect not only outstanding service, but an unwavering Mavericks spirit. Randy's guests include his wife, Christy Matley, a first grade teacher at Gretna Elementary, his daughter, Rachel Matley, a pediatric nurse at Nebraska Medicine, who was a 2019 UNO graduate and a 2020 UNMC graduate. Also with us are sons Matthias Matley, a youth pastor at Calvary Christian Church in Bellevue, and Jared Matley, a 2024 UNO graduate who is now a grad student at Clarkson School. No brain drain is in this family for sure. Please help me and thank Randy for his dedication to the University of Nebraska at Omaha.
Congratulations, Randy. While our kudos guests are welcome to stay for the balance of the meeting, we understand they may have other things to do for the day. If that's the case, we'll take a moment and allow you and your families to exit the meeting. Then I will turn over to Regent Shear to present our resolution. Regent Shear.
Thank you, President, or Chairman. I want to, on behalf of the Board of Regents, read a resolution in regards to Coach Cook, who retired this year after 25 years here at the university. He certainly had a distinguished career. I've got a 6-page resolution in front of me, and for those of you that realize resolutions are one sentence, so this is indubitably the longest sentence I will ever read in my life.
Obviously not a lawyer.
Whereas on January 29th, 2025, four-time national champion and long-serving Nebraska volleyball head coach John Cook, the winningest Division I volleyball coach of the century, announced his retirement, concluding a remarkable 32-year collegiate coaching career, including 25 years leading the Huskers. And whereas under his leadership, Nebraska volleyball earned 4 NCAA national championships in 2000, 2006, 2015, and 2017, 12 NCAA semifinal appearances, 8 NCAA finals appearances, and 14 conference titles. And whereas with 883 career victories, including 722 at Nebraska, Coach Cook holds the 5th most wins in NCAA history and boasts the best winning percentage of any Division I volleyball program over the past 25 years. Whereas during his tenure, Nebraska volleyball produced 72 AVCA All-Americans, 25 academic All-Americans, 5 Olympians, and earned the Honda Broderick Cup, the highest honor in women's collegiate athletes. And whereas Coach Cook was named the AVCA National Coach of the Year 3 times, Conference Coach of the Year 8 times, and received the USA Volleyball All-Time Great Coach Award and was inducted into the AVCA Hall of Fame in 2017. And whereas throughout his sensational career, Coach Cook matched on-course success with vision that extended far beyond the trophies and raising the national profile of Nebraska volleyball while advancing academic achievement and athletic excellence. And whereas Coach Cook led Nebraska's volleyball move to the Bob Devaney Sports Center, transforming the fan experience and building a record-setting sellout streak that reflects the unmatched passion of Husker Nation. And whereas under his leadership, Nebraska volleyball built a fan base and culture unrivaled in women's sports, culminating in Volleyball Day in Nebraska, when 92,003 fans, of which I was one, filled Memorial Stadium, setting a world record for attendance at a women's sporting event. And whereas through bold vision and his enduring mantra to dream big, Coach Cook expanded Nebraska volleyball into a national model, elevating the program and inspiring others to pursue excellence without limits. And whereas he brought his team and the sport to all the corners of the state, with spring matches from Norfolk to Ogallala, outreach to young athletes, and a commitment to making Husker volleyball a shared point of pride for Nebraskans everywhere. And whereas originally from coastal California, Coach Cook came to embody the spirit of Nebraska, building meaningful connections across the state, embracing the persona rooted in humility, hard work, and pride in the land and its people, earning him the endearment as Cowboy Cook by fans far and wide. Whereas Coach Cook's leadership was grounded not just in on-court strategy, but an all-around character, marked by steadiness, humility, and a continual drive to grow, adapt, and lead with integrity. Whereas in recognition to his enduring contributions, the Husker Athletics has honored Coach Cook with the naming of John Cook Arena at the Bob's Devaney Sports Center and the installation of a bronze statue in his likeness, ensuring his legacy will continue to inspire for generations. And now therefore be resolved that the Board of Regents of the University of Nebraska extends its deepest appreciation to Coach John Cook for a career that was transformed Nebraska's volleyball into a national powerhouse, strengthened communities across the state, and elevated the vision and visibility of women's athletics. Be it further resolved that this board celebrates the extraordinary vision and legacy of a coach, a teacher, and a lifelong learner who has not only led a team, but inspired a state through volleyball and showcased the very best on the Nebraska national stage. Coach Cook is not here today, unfortunately, but we felt it important to recognize his extreme talent and his everlasting love for the state, that he is now a proud person because he chooses to be in Nebraska, not that he was born in Nebraska. Thank you very much, Coach Cook. Hopefully you're watching.
Is there a motion to accept this resolution?
I move.
So moved.
Second.
Tim was probably first.
Sam.
I object. I should have
Second.
got to make a
Second.
motion.
Roll call.
Regent Schroeder,
Yes.
Regent Lysy,
Yes.
Regent Calamari,
Yes.
Regent Wilkins,
Yes.
Regent Schaefer,
Yes.
Regent Shear,
Yes.
Regent Stark,
Yes.
Regent Whites,
Yes.
Regent Wilmot,
Yes.
Regent Clare,
Yes.
Regent Kenny,
Yes.
Regent O'Connor.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Now I'll turn it over to President Gold to make a few comments.
Well, thank you, and good morning, all Regents, colleagues, and members of the university community. First and foremost, Dr. Davies, congratulations on a wonderful campus visit. Great experience for our regents, always. I particularly appreciated the presentation this morning regarding our relationships with our federal colleagues, those that wear the cloth of our nation and protect our freedom every day. These are broad and deep relationships that will only grow over time and will be increasingly important as the university focused on the national security of our nation. Today, this Board of Regents meeting is truly a milestone for the University of Nebraska, for the state of Nebraska, and indeed for all those who will benefit from improved access to world-class health care across our region. At the center of our agenda today is Project Health, the multi-billion-dollar clinical learning and healthcare facility we are building right here on this campus. This initiative represents not only the most ambitious project in our university's history, but is one of the most consequential investments in the health and well-being of the people we serve, and is an exemplar for the future of modern academic medical centers. Project Health will be the state's largest teaching, clinical research, and clinical care facility. It will serve as the primary inpatient hospital for Nebraska medicine, housing state-of-the-art clinical care, and at the same time will be a dynamic clinical learning environment for the next generations of healthcare professionals. The importance of this cannot be overstated. Each year, Nebraska Medicine serves as the training ground for more than 4,000 students across more than 50 different health programs and 10 different colleges of medicine alone. Some 700 residents and fellows gain essential clinical experience every year. These learners, most of whom go on to practice in Nebraska, including rural and urban communities, surrounding states, and beyond, form the backbone of our healthcare workforce today, and even more so will in the future. At a time when shortages of physicians, nurses, pharmacists, dentists, and other professionals threaten access to care, particularly in our rural communities here in Nebraska, Project Health gives us the ability to expand enrollment significantly across all of the healthcare professions. It also provides the space needed to accelerate capable learners into practice and to expand access to cutting-edge research and life-saving clinical trials. This is the very heart of our land-grant mission, to meet the needs of the people of Nebraska where they are and to prepare the workforce that will care for them for generations to come. Again, I want to thank Chancellor Deli Davies for his vision and leadership, as well as this board, our governor, and the many public and private partners who have rallied behind this ambitious mission. This is truly the largest and highest impact public-private partnership in our state's history. Together, we are making an investment in lives saved, communities strengthened, and a healthier future for our state. Shifting gears a bit, last month I had the opportunity with others to travel to our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., not just once, but twice. In addition to important conversations with our health, defense, and policy partners, we spent very meaningful time with the United States Department of Agriculture and its Agricultural Research Service, better known as ARS. Nebraska's partnership with ARS is one of the most unique and valuable in our nation. On the University of Nebraska-Lincoln's East Campus, ARS scientists are embedded within UNL departments, collaborating closely on research that directly benefits Nebraska's producers. They mentor our students, publish alongside our faculty, and help us to tackle challenges from animal health to crop resilience and sustainability. The collaboration extends well beyond Lincoln. The U.S. Meat Animal Research Center and UNL's Great Plains Veterinary Education Center at Clay Center have long worked hand in hand, ensuring Nebraska remains a national leader in livestock production and animal health. Together, the USDA, the ARS, and the University of Nebraska scientists innovate new tools, educate and train agricultural leaders, and deliver solutions that feed and fuel the world. These are relationships that are decades in the making and are vital to our state's economy and global competitiveness. The conversations that we had in Washington underscored that the appreciation for this unique partnership is shared by our senior level colleagues in the USDA, that we both look forward to building upon this strong foundation with legislative action and funding in the future. These Beltway meetings also included the senior leadership of ASPR, NDMS, and so many others in the four-letter abbreviations of those that protect the security and health of our nation. In follow-up, I'm proud to share that a remarkable achievement for the University of Nebraska Medical Center and its partners, which include Emory University and New York Bellevue. This is through the National Emerging Special Pathogens Training and Education Center, again affectionately known as NETEC. Late last month, this consortium has been awarded over $60 million of new federal funding to strengthen national preparedness and response capabilities for emerging healthcare threats, which include avian influenza and so many others. This funding, at this time, underscores our leadership in public health, in healthcare, and recognizes UNMC's vital role in safeguarding the health and safety of our nation. Here in Nebraska, we feel the impact of our university every day, all across the state. We have been laser focused on workforce development and acutely aware of the recently released workforce documents that paint a picture of the role of the university, the business communities, the legislature, and the governor's office to work together, shoulder to shoulder and arm, to create the workforce of the future. In that regard, the University of Nebraska at Omaha, in partner with Connecco, the Greater Omaha Chamber, and the City of Omaha, will host the Omaha AI Conference on Tuesday, October 7th, in downtown Omaha. This event is designed to make AI knowledge, artificial intelligence knowledge, accessible to everyone, from those just getting started to those already applying it in their daily work. This event reflects both UNO's deep commitment to workforce development and the University of Nebraska's system-wide leadership in AI innovation. And it highlights that AI fluency, a word that we're going to all learn in the future, is transforming careers and fueling breakthroughs in agriculture, in medicine, and so many fields beyond. At the same time, the University of Nebraska at Kearney, in partnership with the Buffett Early Childhood Institute, is leading a new statewide early literacy initiative that will strengthen language development for young children in every corner of the state of Nebraska. Funded by a $1.295 million grant, this 5-year project will use innovative talk pedometer technology and educator coaching to create language-rich environments for infants, toddlers, and preschoolers. Building on UNK's expertise in rural early childhood education and building on the Buffett Institute's statewide reach, this effort will impact more than 1,300 children in the pre-K world during the first 2 years. The impact of the University of Nebraska can also be seen every weekend this fall as our athletic programs demonstrate excellence on the field, on the court, and beyond. This fall, I've been particularly inspired by how athletics connects back to our academic and service missions. During last month's Husker football game against the University of Michigan, on that very same day, we celebrated World Bone Marrow Donor Day. During a special halftime recognition ceremony, we honored a young lady named Julia Morrison, a young girl from Lincoln whose life was saved by a bone marrow transplant done right here at UNMC, and Dr. Erica Brockberg, the University of Michigan physician who became Julia's bone marrow donor. Their story was highlighted not only by the life-saving work done at the Fred and Pamela Buffett Cancer Center, but also by the generosity of donors, the power of partnerships across our institutions, and the lasting impact that just one person can have on the life of another, even if they cheer on opposite sides of the stadium. So let's enjoy a brief video as I can, with great pleasure, introduce Miss Julia Morrison.
To a KTV Newswatch 7 exclusive. In the Sea of Red, the Huskers welcomed some special visiting Wolverine fans to tonight's game. And though they may be rooting for the different teams, KTV Newswatch 7's Beth Carlson spoke to two fans who are linked up by more than just the Big Ten matchup.
Pete, even after the outcome of tonight's game, one Husker fan and one Wolverine fan are celebrating the bond that brought them together, taking center stage at Memorial Stadium to spotlight a life-saving donation.
Nebraska is a special place.
For thousands at Memorial Stadium, there's a shared connection for the love of the game. And for two opposing fans on Saturday, a bone-deep bond from head to toe.
We have little hearts that says the perfect pair.
That's bigger than who they cheer for.
We grew up rooting for the Huskers, but she likes to say that she's a Husker fan with Michigan blood.
Today I have to represent my team. You know, I was a student at Michigan for a very long time, and I'm definitely cheering for Michigan.
Fourth grader Julia Morrison grew up a Huskers fan in Lincoln. In 2021, her family found out she would need a bone marrow transplant and began their search for a match.
They gave us the opportunity to do a cheek swab, sign up for the registry.
Erica Brockberg signed up to be a potential donor back in 2013 while attending the University of Michigan.
So when I got the call, I was excited and surprised.
A life-saving donation.
Our family's blessed. Julia went through a lot, only made possible because of the donation of Erica.
And on Saturday, a chance to celebrate that connection.
We have been counting down the days. Julia has been texting me every day with a countdown until we got to be together again.
That's just an incredible opportunity to raise awareness, to bring eyes in front of Memorial Stadium, 90,000 fans, and have an incredible outsized impact.
Walking out hand in hand at halftime.
Really kind of scary because there's lots of people, but I'm mostly excited.
To represent the bond.
We do have a secret handshake
that brought them together.
We really just want to inspire people to sign up for the registry, tell people that there could be someone out there who's a match for you, who's waiting for that gift.
And helping more people sign up to be potential matches.
It's heartwarming because I work with patients that may find their second chance at life, and then we work with patients that never do. So today, again, you're giving hope to our blood cancer patients.
Even though the score wasn't what Husker fans were hoping for.
We're celebrating the bone marrow transplant that got this little girl out of a life-threatening illness and gave her the gift of life.
There's still reason to cheer.
Even though we did not meet for over a year, we knew that our donor was going to be special. They were going to give Julia that chance, a second chance at life, a chance to be a kid again. And then after meeting Erica, it's become everything and more what we had hoped for.
After her transplant, Julia is now a healthy kid who's back at school and involved in dance and swimming. If you'd like to learn more about how to volunteer to become a possible bone marrow donor, you can find that link in our story at KETV.com. Pete, back to you.
Some things are just bigger than sports. Thanks, Beth.
I thought you might enjoy that, and I will tell you that we had sign-up stations outside of Memorial Stadium, and thousands of fans got their cheeks swabbed and signed up to be bone marrow donors. So just amazing. In addition, our entire university community is once again joining the We Give Blood Challenge with Abbott and the Big Ten Conference. This campaign addresses the national blood shortage of blood donations while showcasing the service-mind spirit of our students, faculty, staff, alumni, community members, and hopefully everybody in this room. Last year, Nebraska led the nation in this effort with blood donations that helped save more than 60,000 lives, and by the way, earned our student government $1 million for student and community support at UNL. We're proud to defend that title this year, and even more proud of the impact that every donation makes. We are now number 2 in the nation, gaining on number 1, which is a small institution in Madison, Wisconsin, not to mention any names. So, let's bring it on, folks. But this blending of athletic pride with academic purpose and service to others is the essence of who we are as a university. Across our campuses, our athletic programs embody the same collaboration, culture, and resilience that define our state and its people. Of course, we cannot talk about athletics without the recent resolution honoring Coach John Cook. Last month, we ensured his legacy will be a constant presence at home volleyball games with the dedication of a bronze statue in his likeness at the Devaney Center. Coach Cook has built not only a championship program, but he has built a culture that is second to none. He has had the unique ability to take groups of young women from different places, different backgrounds, different beliefs, and mold them into cohesive, high-performing teams. But beyond the numbers that you heard, he transformed Nebraska into the epicenter of women's volleyball. And Volleyball Day, which I also was privileged to attend with the other 92,002 people filling Memorial Stadium, was the largest crowd ever for a women's sporting event worldwide. And it was a testament not only to the program that John built, but to the inspiration he provided to the entire state. His mantra of, quote, "dream big," will continue to echo in the hearts of players, fans, and Nebraskans for generations to come. So on behalf of the University of Nebraska, I extend our deepest gratitude to Coach Cook for his leadership, his vision, and his legacy. Even as we celebrate these successes, we cannot ignore the challenges before us. On a daily basis, we are in communication with our federal partners, interchanging with information exchange, receiving citations, and other documents that are endlessly challenging higher education. Last month, by example, our UNL Chancellor, Dr. Bennett, announced proposed budget reductions at UNL. But this is part of a broader system-wide effort. These proposals include eliminating academic programs, realigning several others, and making difficult cuts across multiple colleges. These recommendations follow announcements of budget reduction plans at all of our campuses, and that together with the UNL announcement and other reductions across the President's office as well. We, as an institution, and certainly I personally, recognize how painful these recommendations are. They will affect lives and livelihoods, and they will affect the very fabric of our institution. But it is also important to remember that these announcements represent proposals, which is just one step in a process that will include review, feedback, and final consideration by this Board of Regents in the months ahead. As I said on September 4th in my State of the University address, hosted in the rotunda of our state capitol, the House of our People, that our momentum is real. We are growing in research productivity, philanthropic support, and statewide impact. And at the same time, we face the realities that demand difficult decisions. As time has shown, the longer we wait, the more difficult these decisions become. Our responsibility, our core fiduciary responsibility to the people of Nebraska, is to act with discipline and care, always keeping student success and the long-term strength of our university at the center of every decision. At the same time, we must advocate for robust, sustained support that will allow us to continue to serve Nebraska students, families, industries, and communities, and contribute billions of dollars to the state economy every year. I am grateful to each of you, and particularly to our faculty, staff, and students for engaging in this process with thoughtfulness and honesty. These challenges, while significant, do not define us, but rather they test us, and I believe will help us look even more carefully in the mirror as we define the future of higher education together. These stories that I tell you today are not isolated. Together they form a narrative of a university that is resilient and at the same time ambitious and dedicated to serving Nebraska and the world. This is exemplified by our system-wide strategic planning implementation, now more than 1,000 initiatives strong across all of our campuses, colleges, centers, institutes, business units, and more. And I am confident that as we continue to, as John says, dream big, as we continue to work together and stay focused on our mission, we will emerge stronger than ever. The University of Nebraska's best days are well ahead, and I am honored to work alongside all of you to make that future a reality. Thank you for all that you do, and back to you, Regent Kenny.
Thank you, President Gold. Now we'll move on to the public comment portion of today's meeting. Standing rules of the board provide that any person or persons may appear and address the Board of Regents on items that are not on the agenda. If individuals provide the corporate secretary at least 24 hours of notice. We were contacted by 21 individuals wishing to speak on a topic not on today's agenda. Sarah Zuckerman, please come to the podium. You have 3 minutes to address the board.
You all don't have a page like the legislature. So. Thank you. Good morning. It is still morning, I think. My name is Sarah Zuckerman. I'm Associate Professor of Educational Administration at UNL, and I am also the UNL AUP Chapter President. This morning, I wish to call your attention to the lack of shared governance currently happening at UNL. Shared governance is a collaboration between faculty and administrators to ensure that good decisions are being made about the strategic direction of the university and the resources that support it. Currently at UNL, faculty have not had meaningful involvement in determining the best use of the university's resources, nor have they been engaged in determining the future of academic programs. Faculty units identified for elimination were not provided with an opportunity to have complete and accurate accounting of their contributions to UNL, to their students, and to the state. As a result, bad decisions are being made using bad information. My own department has been identified for cuts, even though our research productivity puts us in the top quartile of all R1 institutions in our field, and above 7 AA departments. So we're already AAU quality. We enroll a full 8% of graduate students at UNL, and we are also consistently among the top doctoral producing departments at the university. Each of the other impacted departments provide unique programs in the state and likewise are more highly regarded than the administration's bad math would apply. We all contribute significantly to the university's land grant mission and to the bid to re-enter the AAU. UNL administrators' refusal to follow university policies for shared governance is placing that goal in jeopardy and causing real reputational harm to UNL. There have not been public meetings to explain the proposed program eliminations. Requests for information have been met with delays, silence, or refusals. And the structure of the academic planning committee meetings do not meet the standard of any kind of open meeting. And I want to remind the Regents that only a few years ago, in 2018, UNL administrators failed to follow policy, resulting in the removal of a graduate instructor from their teaching and a national AAUP censure. That censure was removed in 2021 through the collaborative efforts of faculty and administrators, but apparently those lessons did not stick. UNL's administrators' actions show even less regard for the consequence of firing dozens of highly productive faculty and closing programs that enroll hundreds of students. In my department alone, hundreds of students. I ask that the program cuts and mergers be delayed until UNL administrators
Thank you for your comments. Your 3 minutes are up.
Guides and the principles of shared governance and show commitment to collaboration and the use of accurate information to make better decisions about the future of the university, our students, and the state.
Thank you for your comments.
Robert Zott, please come to the podium. You have 3 minutes to address the board. Robert.
Good morning, President Gold and the Board of Regents. My name is Robert Zott, and I'm speaking to register my opposition to the proposed elimination of the Department of Earth and Atmospheric Sciences. I know the decision is not in your hands just yet, but it will be soon. I'm from the state of Texas, and none of my family is from even close to 600 miles to this area. I could have pursued my master's degree in meteorology at a large state institution in Texas, but despite my lack of connections to the state, I chose to come here because of the cutting-edge, life-saving research that we do at the Department of Earth and Atmospheric Sciences. Specifically, our researchers dare to drive vehicles and fly planes into storms that no one else in other universities will dare to do. No other researchers in our university would do any research close to that helps save Nebraskan lives. The data that we collect from this research directly impacts our understanding of tornadoes and forecasting for tornado warnings. In a state so heavily impacted by severe weather, it would be unthinkable to cut the department that works directly to keep Nebraskans from all the way over in Ogallala to here in Omaha safe. Our work and the quality of our graduates help improve the weather forecast in this state and ensure they are accurate. For example, on April 26, 2024, the tornado outbreak that had an EF4 tear through the western suburbs of Omaha, no one died because of the quality of our forecasters from our department at the National Weather Service offices here in Omaha and TV stations. The impact of our department to the state of Nebraska is clear. The state's identity is about the Cornhusker, a farmer that depends on accurate weather forecasts. That identity has inspired me to stay here and maybe even pursue my PhD and a professorship here in Nebraska, even though I have no ties to this state. But I won't be able to do that if the department is cut. I leave you with a closing thought. I had the opportunity to speak to many middle schoolers and elementary schoolers doing outreach with our vehicles and showing them tours throughout this state. They're all really excited when I show them our storm-chasing vehicles. I've also met many Nebraskans at gas stations because, when we're driving for 5 hours, we have to fill up, we have to get food. And, they're like, they come up to our vehicles, they see what we have on there. And without fail, the one question I always get in all of these opportunities is a tornado coming? That led me to 2 realizations. First of all, that they're afraid, because honestly, I would be too if I saw 3 vehicles with a bunch of weather equipment on top rolling into a Casey's with storm clouds nearby. It's like seeing Jim Cantori come into your town before a large tornado coming. It's like, you need to get out of there. But also, secondly, that when they see our vehicles with that logo on the side of the door, they trust in us to protect them. They trust in this university to protect them. Don't betray that trust. Don't cut the Department of Earth and Atmospheric Sciences. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Aaron Hacker, please come to the podium. You have 3 minutes.
Greetings. My name is Erin Hacker, and I'm a faculty member in the UNL Department of Earth and Atmospheric Sciences. I am directly affected by the proposed cuts at UNL. The program cuts are a difficult decision, right? That's what I keep hearing from this body, from EVC Button, from Chancellor Bennett. There's just one thing. Getting someone else to clean up your mess is not a difficult decision. The difficult decisions are not being made in conference rooms by administrators in expensive suits. The difficult decisions are being made around kitchen tables, and they're being made by staff, faculty, and students in programs that are facing cuts. Many students listening are thinking, who can afford a big enough place for a kitchen table? Right, Robert? I research how to make better computer models for the Ogallala Aquifer, including through AI fluency, by the way. There are always lots of job opportunities for hydrogeologists like me, so if the cuts go through, sure, I'll land on my feet. But my 83-year-old father-in-law, who lives with us and is here with us today, thinks that moving to another new city might kill him. My daughter is 10, just old enough to understand that her mom losing her job is really scary. What do I tell my family? That's a difficult decision. I also have a 2-month-old son. Last summer, while I was off contract, I worked full-time unpaid for a month and a half while heavily pregnant because there was a deadline for an $8 million grant proposal in August, and I didn't want to let down the team. I didn't take any maternity leave either so that I would be able to teach this semester. Those were difficult decisions. They made my life harder, and they made my family's lives harder. But I always work hard, and the sacrifice felt worth it. The proposed cuts would eliminate about 2/3 of my department's faculty and move the high-performing faculty to other units. People aren't sure how to react when I let them know I wasn't identified as one of these high-performing faculty. It's very awkward for them. But I don't mind. Honestly, I don't mind. I'm not high-performing for the Department of Earth and Atmospheric Sciences. I am a typical member of my department. We all work hard. I don't feel the need to defend my academic record. Everyone on the Board of Regents saw my file last year when they approved me for tenure and promotion. In my department, we all work together to do great science and promote student success. But now my hair has started falling out. Is it because I'm 2 months postpartum, or is it because of the stress? I don't know. I know that when my son wakes me up at night, it takes me hours to get back to sleep. My daughter has just started seeing a school counselor for anxiety. Is that because our family's primary breadwinner might lose their job? I don't know. If my father-in-law has another heart attack, I won't be sure that it was because of the uncertainty of this process. But I never again want to hear what a difficult decision-making process this has been for members of the higher administration who have no skin in the game, whose loved ones aren't suffering. To be here at this meeting to beg to keep doing my increasingly thankless job when I could be studying Nebraska's groundwater resources, I could be mentoring students right now, I could be holding my baby. That was a difficult decision. Maintaining UNL's academic programs shouldn't be. Thank you.
Thank you.
Crystal Garcia, could you please come to the podium? You have 3 minutes.
Good morning, Regents. My name is Crystal Garcia. I'm an associate professor and PhD program coordinator of the Department of Educational Administration and a member of the UNL chapter of the AAUP. As a higher education scholar, I study colleges and universities. What I see within UNL is a detrimental failure of leadership that is now resulting in eliminating critical academic programs that benefit students and the greater state of Nebraska. As a UNL alum and faculty member, I have seen leadership turnover at every level in my time with the university. Such changes could have led to innovation and offered a renewed sense of energy within our campus that supported our odyssey to the extraordinary. But unfortunately, that's not what we're experiencing. Rather than leading our community towards a collective good, we have experienced leadership that has cracked down the hammer of solitary decision-making on our campus repeatedly, which has led to a climate of chaos, academic disruption, and low morale. Imagine if we had a visionary leader who years ago recognized our campus was in financial trouble, brought us together to conduct a holistic review of areas in which we were thriving and areas in need of support. Our departments could have strategized to streamline our programs, identify shortcomings, and create strategic plans to address this over time, and only then would we have considered any potential cuts. But is that what happened? No. As a faculty member in an affected department, I and my colleagues did not find out my department was considered low ranking until September 3rd, 2025. That is the first time I was ever informed of my department's efficiency. A week later, on September 11th, we were told our department would be eliminated. And this process has been touted as open and collaborative. The review process involved zero faculty involvement, inaccurate data, and the proposal to eliminate academic offerings that are crucial to our university community. And who will ultimately pay the price? Students of today and students of tomorrow. Some of the most unique programs in our state are at stake. Since 1913, our department has been the hub for educational leadership preparation. Our students are principals, rural superintendents, directors of residence life, community college presidents, and more. Nearly 300 current UNL staff members obtain their degrees through our department. Cutting our department not only affects students today, it will create a generational educational leadership deficit in the state of Nebraska. Generational. Regents, we must pause this budget cut process, take a step back, and reevaluate these decisions. There is too much at stake to rely on rushed and ill-informed decision-making. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kent Eskridge, please come to the podium. You have 3 minutes. Kent.
Well, thank you for this opportunity. My name is Kent Eskridge. I'm a full professor in the Department of Statistics at UNL. I've been on faculty for 38 years. My area of expertise is agricultural statistics. My purpose of being here today is to make the Regent Board aware of some of the problems with the metrics that are being used for UNL budget reductions process. As you probably know, my Department of Statistics is recommended to be eliminated. The discipline of statistics is focused on using good data to make solid conclusions. We in statistics have tried to reproduce the calculations and the analyses of our department given to us by the Chancellor's team, but we have run into many problems. Here I will focus on one of them, and that is faulty data. This is important since faulty data lead to faulty conclusions. Given the consequences of these faulty conclusions and the lack of cooperation of the Chancellor's team, I found it very important to come here today. I have not yet been given access to any of the data that would be needed to fully vet the process, so let me just give some examples that are most egregious. Across UNL, there's a systematic overcount of the number of full-time employees in the unit, combined with a systematic undercount of the unit's performance measures. For most of the performance measures, the 10-year period, 2014 to 2023, was used. All faculty on UNL's budget in fall 2024 were included in the review. For our department, this excluded 3 of our 12 faculty members. In addition, during the review period, some of our faculty retired and others joined us and then left. All those expenses were included, but none of their performances were included. When we made the administration aware of the oversight, we were told every unit is treated the same way. Well, this is assuring, but it doesn't help any of the smaller units like ours, where these changes are less easily absorbed than in bigger units. The procedures state that any unit affected will be given timely access to the data that went into the decision. We still did not have access to what we would need to properly vet the numbers. Again, faulty data lead to faulty conclusions. My department and I strongly urge the Board of Regents to ask UNL to pause the budget reduction process until these issues are resolved. We also ask the Board of Regents to require statistical oversight from an external set of statisticians with PhDs or professional statisticians accredited by the American Statistical Association to participate in the process. Some 70 faculty positions will be eliminated. This will greatly hurt our students, our university, and our state. In this light, it is essential for the administrators not to make mistakes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Rico Mountain, please come to the podium. You have 3 minutes.
Good afternoon. I'm Rico Mountain. I'm here in front of the Board of Regents to discuss a topic about one of your regents, and I'm asking for her resignation. A couple of you have gone public with her support, and I want to let you know some of the facts around the issue. May 21st, 2025, approximately 8:33 p.m., Elizabeth O'Connor caused an accident that could have been tragically fatal for my 3 daughters and their grandparents. O'Connor drove her 2024 Subaru Outback east on Blondo Street, and in a split decision that endangered lives, she crossed into oncoming traffic, the westbound lane, and collided with the 2013 Ford Focus at the intersection of 63rd and Blondo. Inside this Ford Focus were 5 passengers, including my 3 innocent daughters, all under the age of 7. The consequence of this reckless act was devastating. My daughter's grandmother sustained a broken back and a broken pelvis. Both vehicles were declared total, and all individuals involved were treated for minor injuries on the scene. Elizabeth O'Connor's blood alcohol content was measured at 0.321. That's 4 times the legal limit. Police discovered a half-open container of Fireball whiskey in her vehicle. This matter took 2 months to file any charges, to bring on any formal charges. Now ask yourself, had that been me, would it have taken 2 months to file any formal charges? And would I still be back at my job on Monday, making decisions for the youth? Only one journalist of all the dozen articles mentioned my children were in the car. They would all go on to include that O'Connor graduated summa cum laude from UNO and then attended Notre Dame Law School, though. This incident raises significant concerns in that O'Connor's professional judgment and her ability to continue serving the public in legal and education capacities. As a trusted member and figure in this community, these positions are expected to uphold the highest standards of conduct. Cannot ignore her decisions and the impact on the public trust and safety. Therefore, it is imperative to revoke and remove her position as a Board of Regent immediately. These actions will not only hold accountability, but also serve as a firm reminder that such behavior is unacceptable for anyone, and no one is above the law, especially someone in the position of a Board of Regent member. Her resignation will help ensure the integrity of these positions that you guys maintain. Please support the immediate action against this and the resignation of Elizabeth O'Connor in the interest of public safety. Thank you.
Thank you.
Will Elizabeth Niehaus please come to the podium? You have 3 minutes.
Still morning. Good morning. My name is Elizabeth Niehaus, and I am a professor in the Department of Educational Administration at UNL, which, as you've heard, is among the departments targeted for elimination. Despite that fact, I'm here today not to speak on behalf of myself or my colleagues, but because I care deeply about the university and the state of Nebraska. I'm also here as an expert in higher education leadership. Higher education across the country is facing a crisis of public trust, and that is no less true here in Nebraska. People are questioning not only the value of a college education, but also the value of the research and service universities provide. That is why the way we make decisions and the values those decisions reflect matter so profoundly. There's a saying, don't tell me your values, show me your budget. In this case, the metrics being used to justify cuts tell Nebraskans a great deal about what we value. These metrics say that we value membership in an elite national association over directly serving the people of Nebraska. They suggest that we value tuition revenue over high-quality student learning. They suggest that we value the pursuit of large federal research grants over preparing the leaders who keep our schools and communities strong. But if we step back and think about the purpose of UNL, those are the exact opposite of the values we should be prioritizing. As Nebraska's land-grant university, our mission is not to become a member of an academic country club. Our mission is to educate students, to produce knowledge that improves people's lives, and to extend that knowledge across the state through outreach and engagement. And yet, that is exactly what these metrics leave out. There is no consideration of student outcomes, because those data are difficult to gather. No accounting of the real-world impact of our research, because that is hard to measure. No acknowledgement of the outreach, engagement, and extension work that connects this university to Nebraskans across the state. As researchers often say, Not everything that matters can be measured, and not everything that can be measured matters. Right now, what is being measured does not reflect the true mission of this institution. When leadership builds such consequential decisions on incomplete and deeply flawed foundations, the process itself becomes suspect. That erodes trust, not only in these specific decisions, but in the university as a whole. And once lost, that trust is very difficult to rebuild. I urge you as regents to consider what these choices signal to the people of Nebraska. If we continue down a path where hollow metrics outweigh real impact, we risk weakening the very institution that is meant to serve this state. The direction we are heading is not in the best interest of Nebraska, and Nebraskans deserve better. Thank you.
Thank you.
Carolyn Folsom, could you please come to the podium? You have 3 minutes.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you letting me talk today. This is going to be a follow-up to Elizabeth O'Connor. I think you should be ashamed of yourself. You're a mother. You put this man's family at great harm, at great risk. You put the people of this community at great harm and great risk. What if that was your daughter? What if that was your mother? What if that was you? You have no shame. You need to resign. You're sitting here looking at me like it doesn't matter, and it does. His mother-in-law is still in the hospital. Are you aware of that? It took them 5 weeks to charge you with anything because you're privileged. Me, I would have been in jail and they would have thrown away the key. You are a disgrace to this board. You are a disgrace to this community, and do us all a favor and resign. You should absolutely be ashamed of yourself. And I'm mad because you won't resign. I hope you get the help that you need, because obviously with a blood count of over 4% or 4 times the legal limit, you need help. And you're not going to get that help where you're tied up with doing other things other than focusing on you and your family. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Melissa Piber, please come to the podium. You have 3 minutes. Melissa, are you here? Sandra Starkey, please come to the podium. You have 3 minutes.
Hello, I'm Sandra Starkey, and I'm an associate professor in textiles, merchandising, and fashion design. And thank you very much for the opportunity to speak today. I'm here to share the implications of eliminating the Department of Textiles, Merchandising, and Fashion Design, TMFD, an action that would have far-reaching consequences not only for the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, but for the entire state's economy and workforce. Let's start with some facts. Nebraska's textile, fashion, and retail industries are growing. Between 2020 and 25, fashion design businesses in our state increased at an annualized rate of 2.2%. Textile mill employment grew 13.3% annually, and these aren't isolated trends. They're signals of a revitalized and expanding sector. Retail is a cornerstone of Nebraska's economy. It supports 25% of all jobs in the state and contributes over $30 billion to our GDP, gross domestic product. With more than 29,000 retail establishments and over 206,000 Nebraskans employed directly in retail, this sector is not just thriving, it's essential. So TMFD is the only program in Nebraska equipped to meet this demand. It prepares students for careers in merchandising, textile science, and apparel design, fields that are projected to grow steadily through 2032. In fact, 14 of the 19 industry categories tied to TMFD show positive growth in Nebraska. Nationally, we face a labor supply crisis. In 2021 to 2022, only 2,300 graduates nationwide earned degrees in fashion merchandising and retailing. Yet in July 2025 alone, there were over 519,000 retail job openings. And when it comes to textile sciences, TMFD is one of just 4 programs nationwide capable of filling the 306,000 textile positions projected by 2028. In addition, the sustainable fashion market is experiencing an anticipated annual growth of 22.9% between 2023 and 2030, with markets reaching $33 billion by 2030, justifying a need for apparel design programs such as ours that focus on sustainability is important. So beyond numbers, TMFD is woven into Nebraska's cultural and entrepreneurial fabric. Events like Omaha Fashion Week attract regional talent and investment. Communities like Gretna and Norfolk are leveraging retail to drive local economies. And eliminating TMFD would remove Nebraska's only academic pipeline into these industries. It would leave our state without the capacity to train the skilled professionals needed to sustain growth, innovation, and competitiveness. It would also
Thank
send
you
a
for your
message
comments. Your 3 minutes are up.
that we are willing
Thank
to
you for your
sacrifice
comments. Your 3 minutes are up.
Joseph Neary, you have 3 minutes.
Good morning, Chair and members of the Board of Regents. My name is Joseph Neary. I reside at 7522 Shirley Street, Omaha, Nebraska. And today I'm here to express my support for Regent Elizabeth O'Connor to remain in the office. At this point, Ms. O'Connor has been charged but not convicted. In fact, her case is at the discovery stage of the trial. It is premature and unfair to call for her removal before due process has run its course. We have long recognized the principle of innocent until proven guilty. To disregard that principle now would set a dangerous precedent, punishing individuals not based on evidence or conviction, but on the mere existence of an accusation. While accountability matters, punishment must come only after a full and fair judicial process. Not all the evidence in this case has been presented, and it is our duty to allow the process to unfold as it will. Any calls for Ms. O'Connor removal are not grounded with the consistent standards that we've all used, but instead are merely political posturing. For these reasons, I strongly urge Elizabeth O'Connor to continue serving in her elected office. I know at this point, I know the easy thing for Ms. O'Connor to do would be to step down. That's easy. And I admire that she's still willing to work on behalf of Nebraskans in this important role. Thank you for your time and consideration, and thank you to all of you for the service you provide to Nebraska. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Heike Hoffman, please come to the podium. You have 3 minutes.
Members of the board, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak regarding the use of faulty data and faulty metrics in the UNL budget process. My name's Heike Hoffman. I'm a full professor in the Department of Statistics, so I'm a statistician. I'm trained to do data analysis. I teach how to make quantitative-based decisions. I also teach ethical use of data. I'm one of the 3 hires that UNL made in the statistics department last year. So I'm showing up in the evaluation as a budget item, but none of my professional performance is included. My colleague already mentioned that. I just wanted to give you a face for that. One of the fundamental principles in statistics that we teach is to not use numbers outside their context. Ultimately, that lesson is of the utmost importance, and it is what went wrong in the metrics developed by the senior leadership at UNL. Those metrics were developed to compare the performance of a unit within its discipline. They were not developed to have departments be pit against each other. Using these ill-conceived metrics, top-ranked departments are slated for elimination. Please refer to the figure that I handed out. You can see the corrected standing of departmental rankings within their national peers, difference between SRI and SRI percentile. Not a big difference, but it's important. Using metrics with obvious biases means that the proposal led to this proposal. It damages the reputation of UNL and with it the Nebraska system. Going through with the proposed eliminations will reduce the options for students, lead to brain drain from the state, and ultimately damage the economy of Nebraskans. I urge you, please stop this process now. At the minimum, if budget reductions have to be done, involve statisticians in the process. It's the Nebraskan people deserve nothing less. Thank you.
Thank you.
Elvira Abrica, you have 3 minutes.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you and for the work that you do to steward the resources of this great state of Nebraska. My name is Elvira Abrica, and I am honored to serve as the interim department chair for the Department of Educational Administration. I am deeply grateful to live and work in this state. My husband and I are both educators, and we know how privileged we are to raise 2 young children here in a place with such a strong educational system. I come from a family of educators, a family that is hardworking, military serving, and deeply committed to improving the lives of others. I was born and raised in California, where generations of my family picked oranges under the hot sun. Here in Nebraska, the fields are different. Citrus groves give way to cornfields, but the values are the same: hard work, service, and community. Those values are embodied in my Department of Educational Administration through the work of our faculty and the students we serve. Our students are full-time working professionals and graduate students. They are teachers by day, principals, directors, deans, superintendents, higher education faculty, and community college leaders. Since 1913, more than 3,000 students have come to EdAd to strengthen their leadership and serve their communities. Our students work long hours, many while raising their own families, and still choose to invest their time and resources in a graduate degree from our programs so that they can bring back what they learn to their communities, to their schools, to their districts, and to the state of Nebraska. Our students rely on EdAd to better serve Nebraska. EdAd students and alumni serve in every single educational service unit from Bellevue to Lincoln to Scottsbluff to Chadron. They lead all 6 of Nebraska's community colleges. They are faculty on all 3 NU campuses. And many of our 300 current graduate students serve in critical staff, administrative, and executive roles across the NU system. To echo President Gold, as the state's land-grant university, UNL has a responsibility to serve its people. EdAd fulfills that responsibility by preparing leaders who sustain and serve every community in Nebraska. EdAd provides direct, measurable, and indispensable value to Nebraska's schools, students, and communities, and if eliminated, would harm our state greatly. Strong schools and colleges need strong leaders, and there is no shortcut to preparing them. This is what EdAd does. EdAd is the only way to ensure Nebraska's educational strength for generations to come. I ask you to protect EdAd. Thank you.
Thank you.
Barney McCoy, would you please come to the podium? You have 3 minutes. Barney.
Regents, members, President Gold, good to be here today. Professor Barney McCoy, University of Nebraska-Lincoln College of Journalism and Mass Communications. 14 years now since the University of Nebraska was stripped of its founding membership in the American Association of Universities. Former UNL Chancellor Harvey Perlman called it an embarrassment. 2 years ago, President Ted Carter and this board approved a plan. Carter said it would get the university system back on offense, on a path to regain AAU membership. It would close a $58 million shortfall by focusing on students, strengthening our academic and research profile, review programs, and improve communication and transparency. The university slapped a hiring freeze on non-faculty positions. It cut department operating and supply budgets and raised student tuition 3.5% for 2 consecutive years. Carter said his plan would place NU among America's best universities and address NU's projected 2025 financial shortfall. We will be a national player, Carter said. So here we are, 2 years later. UNL now facing another $27.5 million in proposed budget cuts on top of $75 million in cuts over the past 6 years. All this based on outdated metrics and limited faculty input, as you have heard today. 6 academic units could be killed, at least 58 faculty terminated, dozens more faculty taking early retirement offers, multiple programs, schools, and colleges are scheduled to be merged. This year, 1,800 UNL faculty salaries have been frozen. 24,000 UNL students are paying a 5% tuition increase, which will get them, presumably, larger class sizes, fewer class offerings, and fewer faculty members to be able to teach them and serve as mentors to them. So 2 years later, I'm sorry to say, we're not back on track. The University of Nebraska is not becoming the national player that our leadership has promised. This week, you're probably aware, U.S. News & World Reports ranked UNL last among the 18 members in the Big Ten Conference. We rank 158th right now. A year ago, we ranked 152nd nationally. So these budget cuts we're talking about, they're not going to deliver our land-grant institution's promise of academic excellence or make available to all Nebraskans higher education opportunities. All Nebraskans need to have those opportunities. They keep Nebraskans here in our state. They keep them from leaving. So if these ongoing NU budget cuts continue, I'm afraid that they'll only guarantee...
Thank you for your comments. Your 3 minutes are up. Thank you for your comments. Your 3 minutes are up. Thank you.
Michael Burton, please come to the podium. You have 3 minutes.
Hello, Board of Regents, President Gold. Thank you for having me today. My name is Michael Burton. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Textiles, Merchandising, and Fashion Design. And as you know, my program is up for elimination again. And I want to share 2 troubling examples of how the proposed cuts affect potential students or teaching in the future. And if I have a moment, a little bit about the metrics. My wife, Ann, is the arts program coordinator at Metro Community College down the street here. And one of the courses she teaches is called Creative Careers, which all majors take, including apparel design. It introduces students to the wide range of apparel industry career paths. We're talking more than just making clothing. It isn't an art class. It is, we all wear clothing, right? So anything from industry to through to the creative fields. These are careers right here in Nebraska, as my colleague Sandra Starkey just mentioned. And most of those jobs require a bachelor's degree, which we offer at UNL. So Metro students are incredibly diverse. As you know, many are returning mid-career, some are older. Many have, they balance family responsibilities, financial stress, or food and housing challenges. And these are often barriers that make completing a degree, whether it's an associate's or a bachelor's, difficult. So that's why the associate to bachelor's pathway that our department has built with Metro is so important. Without this option, those students, these are future students, would be unable to finish their degree in state. And the closest option is Iowa State, but for many, that's just simply out of reach. So when you eliminate a program, you're not just having students move around to other majors, you're eliminating opportunities for the students of the future. As well, students who are graduate or PhDs are not simply going to switch gears and move into a different degree option or field in the future. So they will just simply not come to Nebraska. As I did, I came 21 years ago, and it was only supposed to be for a year, and I was only supposed to have one class, and now it's 21 years later, 2 cuts, and I'm somehow still here talking to you. Nebraska is home to me and my wife and my 2 children. So I just want you to think about the future of building Nebraska, bringing people to Nebraska, and making them stay here. People thought I was crazy to move from Martha's Vineyard to here. I can tell you it's way better here than it is there. But let's keep people coming back. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jennifer Johnson Jorgensen, please come to the podium. You have 3 minutes.
Give me a second. Let me reset it. Sorry.
Wonderful. Good morning, President Gold and the Board of Regents. Thank you so much for your time today. My name is Jennifer Johnson Jorgensen. I am the department chair, an associate professor, and a 2-time alum of the Department of Textiles, Merchandising, and Fashion Design at UNL. And I stand before you today not just as a member of a program slated for elimination, but as a voice for thousands of students and alums and numerous faculty, families, and communities whose futures are being jeopardized by the proposed cuts. The metrics driving those decisions overlook the very heart of our work at a land-grant institution. Creative scholarship, recognized in faculty position descriptions, is nowhere to be found in the metrics framework. Extension work, too, has been sidelined. Our extension specialists are serving all 93 Nebraska counties and reached thousands of youth and families. That's really invisible in these current metrics. This undermines the land-grant mission and the very promise we made to the people of Nebraska. If these metrics, rooted in AAU aspirations, are to be adopted, departments across UNL must be given time to thoughtfully align them with existing position descriptions, promotion and tenure criteria, and the stated missions of our departments and colleges. It is unreasonable to impose those penalties based on standards that have not been reconciled within our institutional framework. The consequences of these cuts ripple far beyond campus. Each department proposed for elimination directly serves a high-demand field in Nebraska. As the only textiles program in the state, we are very aware that over 35,990 jobs in the state rely on the apparel and retail industries. And of course, that number is projected to grow. The university risks losing community partnerships as well. Just within our department, we have over 120 partnerships and counting. And they're real-world connections that not only provide support for their business operations and product innovations, but also serve our students with internships, capstone projects, and careers. The industry also risks losing donors and our ability to attract top talent for faculty and staff in our university system. So let us invest in a future that honors the full spectrum of scholarship, serves every corner of Nebraska, and prepares our students to lead, create, thrive, and drive economic growth in our state. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kelsey Berkey, please come to the podium. You have 3 minutes.
I can now say good afternoon. My name is Kelsey Burke. I'm a sociology professor at UNL and a member of the national and local chapter of the AAUP. I'm here not as a member of one of the departments that has been slated for cut, but to share how faculty at UNL stand in solidarity for one another, to support our students and the state of Nebraska collectively. The faculty and staff of units that have been targeted for cuts have dedicated invaluable time, energy, and expertise to our university, in many cases at the expense of other professional opportunities. UNL administration has drawn attention to bylaws and official documents that they say have guided their procedures, but at the same time, they have undermined both faculty and student trust with a lack of transparency about the process. The chancellor's proposal was finalized during a time when most faculty were not on contract. They asked for feedback based on short and often unrealistic timelines, and have refused to make public how the specific metrics were chosen and developed to make determinations about program cuts. And so it's precisely because this process has lacked legitimacy in the eyes of many faculty that the proposal itself lacks legitimacy. The chancellor has stated in his address that one of the considerations in his proposal was the value of these departments to the state of Nebraska. So I just want to highlight a few. Educational administration and leadership is the only such public doctoral program in Nebraska. Earth and atmospheric sciences is paramount for Nebraskans understanding and preparing for severe weather events. Statistics teaches students across the university for its core ACE requirements. Textile merchandising and fashion design supports industry, tourism, and the arts across the state. And the two targeted units in the College of Architecture provide insights for community development and training crucial within the state of Nebraska. To maintain our status as a Big Ten institution, to be successful in our effort to rejoin the AAU, and really to support our students' right to learn, I hope the Board of Regents will reject this proposal. I don't think it's the odyssey to the extraordinary that the president has promised. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dakota Taylor, please come to the podium. You have 3 minutes.
Hello, my name is Dakota Taylor, and thank you for allowing me to share a staff's perspective on the proposed budget cuts in textiles, merchandising, and fashion design, and the impacts these cuts may have across other programs as well. Since the announcement, staff have been faced with constant uncertainty, not only about our roles in TMFD, but also our future at UNL. 3 major concerns stand out. Inadequate notice for layoffs. We've been told we would only receive 30 days notice if laid off. This is not realistic. Hiring at UNL takes months, and while we've been promised priority in applying to open jobs, no staff positions have been posted since September 18th. Even when jobs are posted, competition among affected staff will be intense. Many of us also don't want to leave before decisions are made about our programs, because we are deeply committed to our departments and the community we have built here. The second point is lack of support and communication for staff. I joined TMFD 4 months ago as Community Outreach Coordinator, but I've worked at UNL for over 3 years. I moved here from Georgia to pursue a master's and now my PhD, and I rely on my job to afford my education. My long-term hope is to build a career here and eventually return as faculty. For me, losing the job would jeopardize both my academic and professional path. For many others, especially staff close to retirement, options are very limited and may involve pay cuts. Within our department, we feel supported, but leadership can only provide so many answers. The lack of support we feel comes from outside of the department, where staff questions are often met with uncertainty or delayed until the department actually gets cut. This leaves staff feeling overlooked when compared to faculty and students. The last point is barriers to transparency and information. As departments try to make their case for survival, we have struggled to access basic and public data such as enrollment numbers from offices like Graduate Studies and the Registrar. We have been told these offices were instructed to not share information with the affected departments. Without access to accurate data, how can departments fairly defend themselves? Transparency should be central to the process, but staff and faculty have been excluded from supporting our departments in person during the hearings. In conclusion, I ask you that you provide clear paths for stronger staff support, extend notice periods so employees can reasonably plan their futures, and ensure transparency and fair access to data. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Susan Vanderplus, you have 3 minutes.
Hi, my name is Susan Vanderplas. I'm an associate professor in the statistics department, and I've been at UNL since 2020. I teach statistical computing, and I serve on the Faculty Senate Executive Committee. I've had concerns with the speed of the budget process since the timeline was announced in August. When the statistics department was proposed for elimination, I began trying to understand why the data-driven method used by senior leadership resulted in my department being poorly ranked. This analysis would fail the standards that I set for my students across multiple dimensions. My colleagues have highlighted some of the problems: the inaccurate and out-of-date data, faulty statistical methods, a failure to consider the real-world context of the data. Ultimately, the physics department and the English department do not compete for the same grant funding. They publish the results of their research in different ways. And comparing the English department to community planning or architecture in teaching makes no sense because one provides large service classes and the other doesn't. Chancellor Bennett insists that he's following the process outlined in APC procedures. I agree that APC is ensuring that the process is followed now that the ball is in their court, but problems with the process occurred before APC was involved. Ultimately, to eliminate departments, the process must be fair, accurate, and transparent. And the data and analysis used here has flaws in all of these areas. Departments have not been provided with sufficient information to allow them to identify or correct flawed data, and we've been locked out of data about our departments, which could help us correct that record. In this week's hearings, Josh Davis, the Assistant Chancellor, claims to have used industry best practices to evaluate departments. This is categorically false, because both the data and the analysis are fundamentally flawed. I am concerned that the use of this analysis to terminate departments might lead to successful wrongful termination suits and erase any of the budget savings produced from the reduction process. I urge you, Regents, President Gold, Chancellor Bennett, to stop the current process. Consult with external, certified, professional statisticians before coming up with a new budget reduction plan. Using this faulty data and faulty methodology leads to faulty conclusions that will cost UNL dearly. Simply proposing to cut the statistics department has already damaged UNL's reputation as a major research university. It's just a proposal, right? Actually cutting the department will pose a serious threat to the reputation and the ability to rejoin the AAU. Moreover, because statistics and data science are very in demand, eliminating these programs will hurt the Nebraska information and digital agriculture economy, contribute to brain drain, and threaten the research engine at UNL that is central to our standing in the Big Ten. As a state, we can't afford to eliminate statistics programs because the
Thank you for your comments. Your 3 minutes are up. Thank you.
Corey Ruman, you have 3 minutes. Please come to the podium.
Good afternoon, Board of Regents and
President Gold, I appreciate the opportunity to speak. I'm Assistant Professor of Practice in the Department of Educational Administration at UNL, and of course our department is being recommended for elimination. But I'm here to, I think, talk more just for all of the departments in some ways. I may not be able to add a lot to what's already been said regarding some of the concerns, but I certainly share and echo the concerns about the lack of transparency, the absence of shared governance, and an unfair and inequitable process that has included a denial of information and important data sharing. What I also want to say is that it feels like this is happening so fast, and I know the administration would disagree with that, but for us as impacted departments, that feels exactly the case. Suddenly, we have been recommended for elimination without any prior warning or any type of information. And I'm wondering just how much time we have spent considering how this will impact not just UNL, but the Nebraska system, and more importantly, the state of Nebraska, specifically the rural areas of Nebraska. And I think I can speak to that. I grew up much of my childhood in Wyoming. I graduated high school in Wyoming. I went to the University of Wyoming. I then worked as a counselor at a community college in Northwest Wyoming, Northwest College in Powell, Wyoming. It had at that time, a robust population of 5,000 people. And during that time, and while I was there, I remember how we would think and decisions would be made in Cheyenne and Laramie that felt hasty and would impact us and our community, and there was no forethought and thinking about how that might impact us. And I'm wondering about that now for us as we make these decisions, and I'm asking you to please to step back, to consider all of the information, to reevaluate this process so that we can understand, especially for the state of Nebraska and for those rural areas. I wonder, what will happen without EdAd and the impact that we have on community colleges and their leaders? What will happen to Dr. Don Johnson's principal program as to recruit folks to come to be principals and come to our institution and take courses? What is going to happen to those types of programs as we do this? So I think we owe it to our faculty, we owe it to our staff, we owe it to our citizens of Nebraska, and more importantly, to our current and future students not to make hasty decisions without all of the information. I think that's the first time I've ever made time, so I'm going to stop now. Thank you.
Thank you.
The standing rules also further provide that anyone desiring to speak on something that is on the agenda for this meeting, regardless of notice. Is there anyone here that would like to address the board on a topic that is on today's agenda? If so, please come forward, identify yourself, and complete the sign-in sheet before you leave. You will have 3 minutes to address the board. Seeing none, no other person wishing to comment, now I declare the opportunity for public's comment closed. It is now time to consider the consent agenda. The consent agenda is indicated by its name. It is moved and voted on by a group of items as opposed to the administrative agenda where you are considered and discussed individually. With that being said, unless one of my colleagues on the board wishes to consider any of these items on the administrative agenda separately, I will invite a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Regent Lacey?
Yes.
Regent Calamari?
Yes.
Regent Wilkins?
Yes.
Regent Schroeder?
Yes.
Regent Shear?
Yes.
Regent Stark?
Yes.
Regent Whites?
Yes.
Regent Wilmot?
Yes.
Regent Clare?
Yes.
Regent Kenny?
Yes.
Regent O'Connor?
Yes.
Regent Schaefer?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. I'll ask President Gold to walk us through the items on the administrative agenda. President Gold?
Yes, thank you, Regent Kenny. So as we have done previously, we will outline each of the items from the University of Nebraska at Kearney campus separately, and the board will be asked to vote on them together. If any regent wishes to extract any matter herein and have that item considered and voted on separately, they may make a motion to do so. So we start off with item 12A1 that seeks your approval to eliminate the Bachelor of Science in Industrial Technology, administered by the Department of Industrial Technology and the College of Business and Technology, at the University of Nebraska at Kearney. Following a 2023 in-depth review of UNK's industrial technology programs, the department engaged in a strategic effort to align the academic offerings and to enhance overall program enrollment. The department, in addition to aviation, construction management, and interior and product design majors, will still offer an industrial distribution degree and a minor in industrial technology, which is available for students specifically interested in the domains of improving production processes, emphasizing technology, safety, and efficiency in manufacturing. Currently, enrolled students will be allowed to complete their degree as planned. Item 12A2 similarly seeks your approval to eliminate the Bachelor of Science in Industrial Technology Applied Science Comprehensive. This is administered by the Department of Industrial Technology in the College of Business and Technology at the University of Nebraska at Kearney. There are no students currently in this program. The department, in addition to aviation, construction management, and interior and product design majors, will still offer an industrial distribution of this degree, as I said previously, and will offer a minor in industrial technology, which will be available for students specifically interested in improving production processes, emphasizing technology, safety, and efficiency in manufacturing. These items were reviewed, discussed, and recommended by the Academic Affairs Committee, and I recommend them to you for your approval today.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve items 12A1 and 12A2?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll.
Regent Calamari.
Yes.
Regent Wilkins.
Yes.
Regent Schroeder.
Yes.
Regent Lacey.
Yes.
Regent Stark.
Yes.
Regent Whites.
Yes.
Regent Wilmot.
Yes.
Regent Clare.
Yes.
Regent Kenny. Regent O'Connor.
Yes.
Regent Schaefer.
Yes.
Regent Shear.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Item 12A3 seeks your approval to eliminate the Master of Science in Horticulture and to rename the Master of Science in Agronomy to a new name, the Master of Science in Agronomy and Horticulture, which will be administered by the Department of Agronomy and Horticulture in the College of Agricultural Sciences and Natural Resources at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln campus. This Masters of Science in Horticulture program has not met the minimum requirements set by the Coordinating Commission of Public Higher Education, and therefore the department requests to discontinue it as a standalone program. The department further proposes to rename the Master of Sciences in Agronomy to the Master of Sciences in Agronomy and Horticulture. The proposed renaming reflects both the academic and the industry trends in the fields of agronomy and horticulture, which of course are interconnected disciplines. Both the department and the doctoral program names already reflect these disciplines, and this renaming seeks to further align the Master of Science with the doctoral program. This will allow a unified identity and will simplify recruitment without impacting academic rigor or employment opportunities for graduates. Horticultural curricular content will be available within the renamed master's degree program, mirroring the structure of the doctoral degree program. Similarly, this item was reviewed, discussed, and recommended by the Academic Affairs Committee, and I recommend it to you for your approval today.
Thank you, Dr. Gold. Is there a motion to approve 12A3?
So moved.
How about a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll, please.
Regent Wilkins.
Yes.
Regent Schroeder.
Yes.
Regent Lacey.
Yes.
Regent Calamari. Regent Whites.
Yes.
Regent Wilmot.
Yes.
Regent Clare.
Yes.
Regent Kenny.
Yes.
Regent O'Connor.
Yes.
Regent Schaefer.
Yes.
Regent Shear.
Yes.
Regent Stark.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Item 12B1 seeks your approval today of the Intermediate Design Review Number 2 for the truly historic Project Health UNMC Academic Medical Center Transformational Project that I referred to in my opening remarks. On August 8, 2024, the Board of Regents unanimously approved the program statement for Project Health. On April 11th of this year, the Board of Regents again unanimously approved the Intermediate Design Review Number 1 for Project Health here at the University of Nebraska Medical Center. And just earlier today, after months of study and review, the Coordinating Commission of Public Higher Education again unanimously approved this program, this project. It is currently anticipated that there will be at least 3 intermediate design review submissions for this project and the critically important consequences in workforce development, clinical research, and clinical care. Second intermediate design review, which is before you today, provides approval for the detailed design of the future building, as well as the build-out of the core and shell of the building, the associated parking, and the early procurement of long lead items such as air handlers, steel infrastructure, and so much more. This project remains within the program statement budget allocation of $2.191 billion and remains on schedule. The coordination of the capital stack as it is phased in over the next years through public and private dollars is completely aligned and will determine the rate of spend and the completion of this phase and future phases of the project. This item was extensively, and I underscore extensively, reviewed at the Academic Affairs Committee, the Business and Finance Committee, and is now formally recommended by the Business and Finance Committee to you today, and I deeply recommend it to you for your approval.
Thank you, Dr. Gold. Is there a motion to approve 12B1?
So moved. Second.
Then a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
I would just like to have clarification that based upon our original decision that the money would be in hand prior to making our next moves, I just want the assurance that that is the case.
So yes, the goal of this IDR is to meet within the funds that have been secured and committed. Many of those philanthropic gifts will be made over the course of the construction period, but we will not go any farther in spending than what we have secured and committed and available for use on this project.
Any other? Jack?
2 years ago, we met here. And to the faculty and staff and community members, we've come a long ways. A lot of credit goes to a lot of the people in this room, particularly to Dr. Gold, for raising the biggest building in the history of the state, $2 billion plus, and credit to all of you who have done hard work. It's pretty special. Thank you.
I just want to say from like a student perspective how exciting this is to have an entire new structure that has such a large percentage dedicated to the education of students. It's kind of hard to believe that what is now a hole in the ground next to a Don and Millie's will one day be like this giant world-leading structure for the education of students. And it's not just for the students. I tell this to everybody who I talk about this project to. It will make a huge difference to the patients that are treated at Nebraska Medicine because these rooms are purpose-built. They are the future of medicine. So it will help us bring better care, better healthcare like implementation to every single patient that comes through our halls.
Thank you. Anyone else? Ellie.
Well, I just want to echo what's being said. This is an inflection point in the history of UNMC. Just a few years ago, we made the largest public-private partnership in the Fred and Pamela Buffett Cancer Institute, and that has really changed our ability to recruit world-class scientists. The tower filled, I think, 5 years ahead of schedule and has exceeded all our expectations. And I think that looking at Project Health and the promise it has for the citizens of Nebraska, not only to help fulfill our workforce shortages, but also to help, as has been stated, to bring in new clinical trials and opportunities to train and recruit the very brightest and best. This is truly an opportune time, and I think a momentous part of our history as a university system and as a state.
Thank you, Chancellor. It will sure change the state. Any other comments on the motion?
One further comment that if anybody is interested in looking at the proposed architectural design, there have been many different versions of this that have been presented previously, but this is where we stand today. The admonition to the architects were, if we're going to change the world, we're going to change the skyline of Omaha. And here it is.
Anyone else? Roll call, please.
Regent Schroeder?
Yes.
Regent Lacey?
Yes.
Regent Calamari?
Yes.
Regent Wilkins?
Yes.
Regent Wilmot?
Yes.
Regent Clare?
Yes.
Regent Kenny?
Yes.
Regent O'Connor?
Yes.
Regent Schaefer? Regent Shear?
Yes.
Regent Stark?
Yes.
Regent Whites?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 12C1 seeks your approval for certain changes to sections 6.3 bylaws, University of Nebraska at Regents policy, Board of Regents. This item has been reviewed and recommended by the Academic Affairs Committee, Business and Finance Committee, and Executive Committee. I recommend it for your approval. Is there a motion to approve 12C1?
I have a motion to approve with one slight change. On page 69, there is a sentence, approval of the feasibility charter constitutes authorization by the Board of Regents for the project to proceed to the program statement phase. That appears, and someone can clarify for me if I'm wrong, that appears to remove the Board of Regents' approval of that phase. Is that the case?
So one of the things that we wanted to do was have the ability to have the feasibility charters evaluated. Because this is a new step in such a early stage of many of these projects, by having it come before the full board, typically before we've even completed much of the philanthropic, if it is a project that's anticipated to have donor support, we felt like having a public discussion and approval of that might be a little bit premature. So the feasibility charter approval or acceptance on the part of the Business and Finance Committee is just to then move it on to the program statement. The program statement would still come before the full board for review and action.
Are there any commitments, though, during those steps before it comes to the board for approval, or just simply a study?
So the feasibility charter allows for a small percentage of the budget, the anticipated budget, to be used to start some of the design so that we can actually have a better understanding of the budget estimate at program statement stage.
So it does remove then the board's approval at this stage?
For the feasibility charter to be reviewed and accepted, yes.
My motion would be to allow that sentence to remain in there.
Then do we ask for a second on that motion, or?
Can I ask a clarifying question here?
Sure.
No, I'm sorry. To leave that sentence in, we would have, it would be referred to the board both in the feasibility and in the final funding.
So one point I just want to make for the board, the feasibility charter is a new step in the project proposal, recommendation, and approval process. We've not had feasibility charters in the past. Projects came before the board as a program statement for review and action. and secondarily as an intermediate design review, which is typically a report-only item. So what we've done by the policy changes that were made at the last meeting was to add a feasibility charter step where we begin talking about the project earlier, have authority to spend a small percentage of the budget estimate so that we can do a better design and project at the program statement level. So again, that is the reason that we've done it in this way, is to make sure that we are coming to the board for review and approval on a project that we have done more of the preliminary work and coordinated with the foundation if there are philanthropic dollars expected.
Well, the chairman needs some clarification. Kathy?
Yes.
So you would be adding or subtracting?
The sentence is there now. They want to remove the sentence. It would simply leave the sentence there.
So the motion as it stands, as I understand it before the board, is, or the proposed motion, I guess, is with the amendments to the policy as it is presented in the board material. That motion will either succeed or not, and then an amendment to the motion could be made or should be made if you wish to do that. But I would just like to reinforce what Ms. Barnes said, that the creation of a feasibility charter with as part of a pre-program statement is a new concept. It's based upon the fact that work needs to be done to create an accurate program statement. I can tell you, having worn the hat of a chancellor for many years, that the campuses would expend dollars and purchase architectural and construction estimates and planning before ever creating a program statement. All this does is codify that process in a way that the Business and Finance Committee would be made aware of that planning and, in a sense, essentially green light that planning before it became a formal program statement. So in reality, what we're doing is creating more control by the board of this process and not less.
Quick clarification. Sorry. It sounds to me as though this feasibility step allows the board to have more accurate, clear understanding of the budget and the project itself than we have when we're doing it before we even have talked to an architect or an engineer or whatever. So it strikes me as a benefit to us to have that additional step in place. And if we require approval for the feasibility stage, it slows the project down again, because obviously we have to go through committee process and board approval process. And it seems as though nothing is changing in terms of our approval abilities on these projects at all. It just simply allows the process to happen in a more efficient, effective way. Is that my understanding correctly there?
Yes. That is correct. And again, I just want to clarify, the sentence that's being removed is being replaced by a sentence that indicates that the Business and Finance Committee would still review and recommend for moving a project beyond the feasibility charter. It just wouldn't come before the full board for an action item.
And may I ask you to refer me to that particular portion that says it's coming before Business and Finance?
So the sentence before the one that's struck through, upon review of the feasibility charter for a project, the Business and Finance Committee will provide a recommendation to the principal business officer regarding the feasibility of the project and its alignment with overarching university goals and planning.
Okay, but then they only are, it sounds to me they're only being advised at that point. They're not really approving.
They make recommendations.
Just to make a recommendation.
Yes.
And tell me then when the full board, it sounds to me then we're really far down the road before the full board has an approval point of the whole thing.
The program statement is where the full board has approval, which is what has been in place for
But you've kind of told us about things, haven't you? Prior to.
No, typically, we don't come forward, I mean, many times there's part of a master plan when we present those, but again, typically right now, before we made the changes at the last meeting to the policy, the first time we came forward with a project, a capital project, was with a program statement for the board to review and take action.
So maybe for further clarification, the Board of Regents was very clear that understanding a project at the program statement phase appeared to be too far down the road after architects and engineers had been consulted, after the philanthropic community had been advised and consulted and perhaps even partially committed, because the Business and Finance Committee and the members of the board did not have an opportunity to say, you know, this is a really great project, let's do it, or perhaps let's not do it now, or let's not do it at all. So the idea of this change in policy was to give the board direct visibility at a much earlier stage in the process to prevent any surprises that ultimately would just be aired at a public board meeting and just perhaps confuse the community and not be productive.
So to be clear, I believe that if Kathy's motion gets a second, we discuss that, if that would affect or change the motion that's on the floor. Correct? Amend the motion on the floor.
Got to have a friendly amendment.
You made the motion. Hadn't had a second. Yep, the one on here, yes.
One in writing.
Okay.
Accepts a friendly amendment.
Okay.
Not, there would be a secondary level of
Vote.
motion to amend the first motion. That would need a second, it would need a separate vote.
So then would you accept the motion?
Friendly
The friendly amendment?
Made the
Who
motion.
made the
Who made
motion?
the motion?
I don't think we didn't ever have a motion on that one.
We don't have a second.
Kathy jumped in before any
Okay,
motion.
so then we need a motion to accept this policy change.
12C1, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion been made in second. Now, how about the friendly amendment? By
Regent Calamari.
Calamari made it. Would you accept her friendly?
Wait, I thought we were going back to the original question.
We are.
We
The
are.
original question. The question on the table is, do you accept the friendly amendment that your colleague
no,
made?
I do not.
Okay, so now then we need a formal motion to amend 12C1.
Kathy, do you want to make that motion?
Yes, I would.
Is there a second? Seeing none, roll call vote on 12C1
As it stands.
as it stands.
Thank you. Regent Lysy.
Yes.
Regent Calamari.
Yes.
Regent Wilkins.
Yes.
Regent Schroeder.
Yes.
Regent Clare.
Yes.
Regent Kenny.
Yes.
Regent O'Connor.
Yes.
Regent Schaefer.
Yes.
Regent Shear. Regent Stark.
Yes.
Regent Whites.
Yes.
Regent Wilmot.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Regent Kinney, I just commend to you, there are numerous reports for the board's review that are appended to the materials that have been previously posted.
I accept the reports listed in the agenda on the behalf of the board. Is there any additional business? Would you like to make that?
Yeah, I would like to make that motion.
Regent Clare?
I move that the Board of Regents go into closed session as authorized by Section 84.10 of the revised statutes of Nebraska for the protection of the public interest and to prevent needless injury to the reputation of persons who have not requested a public hearing for the purpose of holding a discussion limited to the following subject: personnel matters involving members of university staff.
Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
Roll call.
Regent Wilkins?
Yes.
Regent Schroeder?
Yes.
Regent Lacey?
Yes.
Regent Calamari?
Yes.
Regent O'Connor?
Yes.
Regent Schaefer?
Yes.
Regent Shear? Regent Stark?
Yes.
Regent Whites?
Yes.
Regent Wilmot?
Yes.
Regent Clare?
Yes.
Regent Kenny?
Yes.
1241.
I assume we'll go to the same room?
Yes.
Same room,
It's 1241 or
1241.
Second.
Second.
Voice vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Adjourned.